Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're cracking open The Almsbag by Peter Boge. And it's an incredible book. It takes this one single powerful idea and chases it through 2,000 years of history.
So the book kicks off with this really powerful metaphor, asking us to imagine history as this huge flowing river. And yeah, the color of the water changes, it's brown in Roman times, it's paper during revolutions, it's digital code now, but the river itself, it's always the same. So the real question is, what's that invisible force, that deep current that's driving it all along?
And this, right here, is the book's central idea, the Almsbag principle. Think of it like a kind of social gravity. It's this fundamental system that always pulls value from the many and concentrates it with the few. And what does it sell in return? Well, it sells the promise of something better, a higher place, whether that's heaven or a step up the social ladder or, self-optimization. It's not about a real physical basket, but this timeless mechanism of power. The color of the water changes, but that gravity, it stays the same. So, let's dig in. How does this thing actually work? We've got to go back to the very beginning.
All right, so where did this whole thing even begin? Well, the story starts with the collapse of a massive empire and the rise of a completely new kind of operating system for society.
Okay, so picture this. It's 476 AD, and Rome has just collapsed. It's chaos, right? A huge power vacuum. And who steps into the void? The church, but not with an army, with a system. As you can see here, wherever the state was failing, the church offered a solution. Legions leave, missionaries arrive. Prefects offer no safety, bishops do. Gold is suddenly worthless, bread becomes the currency that matters. And this last one is key. The state's archives are abandoned, but the church takes control of its own. It became the new administrator of reality. This was really the first version of the Almsbag, trading real, tangible security for spiritual authority.
But the system didn't just stop at basic administration. Oh no, it got way more sophisticated. It evolved into something like high finance. Fast forward to the year 800 AD. There's this one moment, the Pope crowning Charlemagne, that changes everything. And let me tell you, this was so much more than just a fancy ceremony. It was a transaction, a deal that would completely redefine power.
Because what this single act did was establish a brand new rule that would last for the next 1,000 years. It meant that from now on, secular power, the power of kings and swords, was in debt to spiritual authority. The crown itself was basically a loan from the church, and the interest, obedience, loyalty, a whole new kind of currency was just born, political credit.
Okay, let's jump forward to the Middle Ages, because this is where things get really interesting. The true genius of this system, this Almsbag principle, was how it managed to turn totally abstract ideas, like fear and faith and the afterlife, into cold, hard cash.
And there's no better example of this than the magnificent Gothic cathedrals you can still see today. I mean, just look at them. They are a perfect illustration of this next phase. They weren't just built on faith, they were financed by an incredibly sophisticated business model, a model that cashed in on one of our most powerful emotions, fear.
So, how did it work? It was a simple but brutal four-step process. First, you create the problem. You preach the terrifying, vivid reality of purgatory. Make people absolutely petrified of it. Step 2, you sell the solution. You offer indulgences. Think of them as a kind of heavenly timeshare or credit to shorten your time in that awful place. Step 3, you use all that money to finance these incredible construction projects. And the result? The church becomes a kind of bank, speculating on eternity, with its profits literally carved in stone. The simple collection basket had just morphed into an investment fund for the afterlife.
And this principle didn't stay local, it went global. The church basically became the world's notary. In the 16th century, through what were called papal bulls, which were just official decrees from the Pope, they literally carved up the entire New World and handed it to Spain and Portugal. The mission to save souls was the perfect legal and moral cover for one of the biggest campaigns of plunder in human history.
But a system this powerful, this effective, well, it was never going to stay in the hands of the church alone, right? Sooner or later, other forces were going to learn how to copy the model, and that's exactly what happened.
The first huge shift happens with the French Revolution in 1789. The new state looks at the church's incredible wealth, all that holy property, and just takes it, nationalizes it, and they transform that wealth into the first state-backed paper money. See what happened? The state didn't get rid of the Almsbag principle, it just took it over.
And then comes the next big one,
The Industrial Revolution. This is a crucial pivot point, because now the collection basket isn't just extracting wealth anymore. It starts extracting something far more precious, something you can never get back, your time.
Think about the old monastic rule, ora et labora, pray and work. The factory twisted that into a merciless labora, just work, period. The church bell that called you to prayer was replaced by the factory's stopwatch, slicing your life into seconds. Your soul, once something to be saved, was shrunk down to just labor power, another unit of value to be extracted.
And that brings this whole story crashing right into our world today. Because the target of all this extraction has become more personal, more intimate than it has ever been before. It's moved from the outside to the inside of our own minds.
Just look at this progression. It's fascinating and a little terrifying. Power has systematically moved inward. It started with controlling what we own, our land. Then it moved to what we do, our labor. Then to how we spend our hours, our time. In the 20th century, it targeted what we want, our desire. And now, it's after our data, our very sense of self.
The book uses this really haunting phrase to describe the advertisers of the 20th century, the engineers of the soul. And that's exactly what they were. They figured out you don't sell products, you sell identity. You link a car to power, a perfume to sex, a brand to status, and by doing that, they managed to implant the collection basket right into our psychological DNA.
And that leads us to right now, the 21st century. The system has reached its final frontier. The Almsbag today is digital. It's the attention economy. The algorithms aren't just predicting what we'll do next. They are designed to capture the very patterns of our thoughts. The promise is always something great, right? Connection, self-optimization, a better you. But the price? The price is the complete data set of our soul. The collection basket doesn't just want your money anymore. It wants your consciousness.
So the book leaves us with this final, really provocative question. The game of power, this Almsbag principle, it seems eternal, but in a world where every click, every pause, every single desire is being measured, monetized, and collected, could it be that the only true resistance, the only worthy opponent, lies in those fleeting moments that are completely unsellable? The moments that produce no data, that have no price, and serve absolutely no purpose, other than just letting us be human.